Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Does It Adapt? And a crossover. This is a crossover episode with The Lab, a Minecraft podcast for a very special reason. This is going to be a different intro, but today I am joined with my co-host, my brother from down under, The Troj. How are you doing, Troj?
Very good, Miner. Very, very happy to be finally able to discuss what we're about to discuss, because we've been, well, for me, for a few weeks, I've had it on the back burner waiting for you guys to see it. So very happy to finally be at this point.
And also my co-host on Does It Adapt?
I am Nacho. Wait, Nacho. Oh wait, wrong movie actually. I am Steve.
Okay. If you haven't gathered it from all the hints that, a few hints that we are doing our review, our discussion of a Minecraft movie here on Does It Adapt and The Lab. Let's just get into it. This movie, you pretty much have to suspend all of your regular thinking. You kind of have to have childlike thinking. I mean, this movie was obviously made for kids, but at the same time it wasn't. So, I mean, let's discuss. Let's start with you, Troj, because you were the first to see it.
Yeah, it came out on a Thursday here in Australia, and we went and saw it that very first night. And the reason for that was I didn't want to have any spoilers, because I know what the internet is like. So we and Interrealms, the Minecraft server that obviously we all play on, was having a live stream weekend with like 50 streamers and Minecrafters. So I didn't want any spoilers possibly crossing my ears. I went in with a very specific expectation of what I was going to see. I didn't go in expecting a cinematic masterpiece. I expected to see Jack Black as Jack Black, and I expected basically what I got from a Hess movie. The trailers sort of put you on a path to know what you were going to get. I walked out knowing and accepting what I saw. Do I think it is a good movie? No. Do I think it is a fun movie? Yes.
Oh, definitely. And it's funny you say that. This movie was directed by Jared Hess. He is famous for Napoleon Dynamite and, of course, what their bearded bard, Josh, did in the beginning, Nacho Libre. I guess that's the mindset that I went in, knowing that it was a Jared Hess movie. And I was expecting Jared Hess comedy. And the way that Jack Black acted it, I saw a little bit of Nacho Libre in that. I kind of knew what I was getting into. What about you, Josh?
I knew, of course, this thing was going to be aimed at kids. And considering the overall, I feel like, reaction that has been happening, online towards it, regarding certain, memeable phrases that are said during the movie, it definitely, it felt like this was going to be definitely aimed more towards kids than anything. And what I was pleasantly surprised, because I know, especially now listening to both the two of you talk about how you felt about it, I definitely feel like I walked away from it not being disappointed. Sure, there were certain things that I didn't necessarily fully could get behind, if that's the phrase to use, but I could at least understand their direction. I could also understand some of the choices that were being made, not just by Jack Black or the director, but by every single person acting in the film. I I think it was really good. I just think that if you look at it through the context of what it's meant to be, that's how you can see it being good. If, in my opinion, if you do look at it as a more like actual critique on what a movie should be, like just a movie in general, yeah, it is definitely not up to par with a lot of films out there. But it was good for what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The thing with it for me was as a writer, someone that enjoys writing, some of the writing really made me cringe a fair bit.
Mhm.
Some of it, particularly I think the first half, it felt a little bit for me, some of it was rushed. Like, okay, here's this character, and this is how this character got to this point. Now, here's this character, this is how this character got to this point. And now let's meet the kids. I think that could have been done a little bit better, and throughout the movie, like some of the writing choices was very. It felt a little bit forced, like they tried to force you to care about certain characters,
Mhm.
or they tried to force emotional connections between the characters that probably hadn't really got to that point. But again, we're talking about a movie that was very clearly made for two demographics: kids and Minecraft fans. It wasn't aimed at people that appreciate a very well written thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and when you talk about cringe, I had so many facepalm moments, like cringe type moments, but at the same time, I was chuckling. I was like, "Oh my god, it just it felt very very Jared Hess." And I guess that's just his style. uh I don't know how else to feel about it, that it was what Jared had set out to do it. And it's funny though, looking at this whole thing and how things are kind of cringy, very memeable, in comparison to how Mojang is marketing through social media and whatnot these days. It's almost on that cringe line or meme level, that they're trying to do things to get people chuckling or cringe, but make it, like it's could be viral or memeable, and this film, I think the reason why it's succeeding is because it's got those viral moments, though, the chicken jockey, the lava chicken, different things throughout the movie that people are going to, for years, they're going to recite those lines or sing that song, or you know it's like a lot of other films that become like cult type classics, that people can quote those lines right off the top of their head. And it really had a lot of those things, and I think Mojang, they signed off on it. They, you know, I it feels like they're really into that, uh, generating that kind of that vibe, if you know what I mean.
I think that they were definitely aiming for that. Like, I think they purposely set out to give us the facepalm cringy moments. But you're right. Every time there was a facepalm or a cringy moment, you still find yourself chuckling at the same time. It's just, I think that they had very specific vision and they went for it. I mean, you're not going to cast Jack Black as the major character in a movie and not expect to have a certain level of cringe or facepalm moments. Like, that is Jack Black. Although I think his acting in this one was, and it was probably more a director's decision how he wanted him to play it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he was too Jack Black in this one. Like, he was very oversold. So I'm on the fence with the Jack Black. Bleh. I'm very much on the fence with the Jack Black portrayal of Steve. But again, I think it was the director, the direction, where they were going for, giving us all the memes, and that's why it's well over 600 million at the box office. It's I think they set out to achieve what they wanted to.
Oh yeah, yeah. How do you feel, Josh? I mean,
And like I said, because I remember talking to you right after we got out of the film, Dad, that I feel like I just had a completely different perspective compared to maybe a lot of people, not just like you two, but like a lot of people, because like I was looking at this movie through the lens of like it is a video game or it's based off a video game. And it is also kind of like based off of something that I think, as you guys have talked before on the lab, Minecraft itself is not necessarily a straightforward story. It has almost like bare bones as far as like an in-depth story. There's a lot of like things that you can look up or find within Minecraft that can lead to lore for it. But the interesting aspect of this was that I saw myself going into, especially not so much the beginning of the film, but more so later on, when they finally get into the overworld, where it's just like looking at it through the lens of, okay, this is a video game. Like I was telling my dad after we got out of the theater, I know a lot of people were complaining about the exposition from Steve about everything. And to me, I was just like, isn't that what a tutorial does? Almost every game, especially a game that's aimed at kids, like it's just them explaining what stuff does and what stuff is. Because that's what it felt like. All of his dialogue, it didn't feel cringy or cheesy to me, because I was thinking, this is totally what a tutorial uh in a video game would probably do. Is it would just give you the straightforward information about everything. And it wasn't just that, it was like any moment that they were in the overworld where it was trying to explain everything. um Even at the beginning of the film, there was also kind of, to go off of what you were saying there, Troj, about Jack Black. I do agree that it oversold, but I will also say, considering again that it is not just a kids movie, but like a video game movie, um, there tends to be a lot of overselling in video games, depending on what genre, though. I will say that. But there tends to be a lot of overselling when it comes to voice actors in certain games. It was random, like kind of was reminiscent of like a few games I could think of. Like we recently talked about Dad Command and Conquer, where it's that cheesy like villainy type thing, like dialogue. Or I was even thinking of I'm one of my favorite video game series of all time. This one called Sly Cooper. It was primarily on the PS2, and it had that type of dialogue where they were like literally some of the dialogues like them saying, "Press the circle button to do this." So it's just like, if it felt very much like that. And Jack Black to me was doing exactly the kind of acting that I would expect from a character that's trying to explain everything.
Yeah.
And while there were a lot more, and I think you, Troj, you hit the nail in the coffin with the director probably giving him notes to sound the way he was or be the way he was. Because there was definitely some influences, as me and my dad were kind of pointing out to one another, where Jack Black was definitely kind of trying to emulate Nacho Libre just a little bit.
Oh
Like
yeah.
Flint and Steel was definitely like him trying to do that same voice.
Just the facial expressions. He just like,
Oh,
like the pink house. He's like, he had that, that Nacho Libre grin. I was like, it's like I'm seeing Nacho Libre with a big ass beard.
yeah. It definitely feels like his made sense. His acting choices made sense. Here and there were some weird deliveries, but still they made sense. I cringed a little bit more with some of the other actors' dialogue. Not so much Jason Momoa, but like definitely the other actress. That was the realtor, and even the sister character. It just like some of their line delivery. I was like, oh man, this definitely feels like a cliche video game line.
Oh yeah.
With that Dawn character, which is the realtor, I don't know. To me, she just felt tacked on, like very underdeveloped and sort of unnecessary to a larger plot. Like you could remove that character and have the exact same movie. Like I think it wasn't utilized in any way, that character.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of one criticism I've got with that writing, and I've sort of alluded to it before, is the character development is it falls short. The plot is very shallow.
Mhm.
That's my criticisms of it. But
Oh yeah.
did I have fun? Oh, I had fun. And I think that what's really important to note is what kids think. And I had the privilege of going with my two kids. My daughter has now seen it twice in the cinemas. She loves it. And, she's always running around the house and that, quoting the lines, and will come up to me and just go, la, 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 lava. And it's like, thank you. And my son, DTG, he's a bit older, he's sort of that young adulty sort of phase.
Yeah.
He went in expecting it to be bad. And he openly said that, I'm going in expecting a really bad movie. I'm going to be disappointed. And when the credits finished and the last scene finished and it went up, he goes, I was wrong. I very much enjoyed that. So I think it hit their target market, despite the flaws that it does have. And I think, as everyone here has said, you can't go in looking at it with, I'm going to come in and see peak cinema, because you're just simply not. But you're going to have an experience. And I think they hit the target really well for kids, and they hit the target for Minecrafters, because there is so much in there that they didn't have to include that is like little nods for the Minecraft lovers. Like, and I've said it before in other podcasts, the whole scene with the minecarts, there's powered rails at the exact right distance with redstone torches next to it. They very simply didn't have to do that. They did. And there's just so many little nods, like with the pandas. They eat some bamboo, they get the little heart symbols, and poof, a little baby panda arrives. There is so much in there that gives little nods to little things in the Minecraft game itself that I think they captured it really well.
Yeah. There was for me, one criticism for me that I felt just wasn't necessary was the whole nitwit principle thing. That it felt like filler, because the movie itself wasn't very long. So it did very much feel like, just kind of one of those tacked on things. And yeah, if it would have been cut out, then you wouldn't have probably wouldn't have noticed. And
you're right, but how many times? I think it was a nice little nod, actually. Like, you're right, to the overall plot. No, it definitely wasn't needed. But as a Minecraft player, we set up a portal anywhere near a villager. That villager is going to find that portal and wander off. So I think it was a really nice nod to the fact that happens in the game. Like, that's another little Easter egg. But the fact that they chose to use a nitwit makes it even better. I guess once you've done that and you've planted that seed of, okay, we've acknowledged this, what do you do then? Like, you couldn't leave that as, we're just going to show this nitwit wandering off through the portal. You have to follow that through. And I guess it led to some chuckles. There's a bit of comic relief. So I actually didn't have a problem with it. You're right. It's not needed for the overall story arc, but I'm fine with the addition of it.
You mentioned that some of the things that they added in that felt very Minecrafty, like the minecarts. One, I had just seen a video today put out by Mumbo Jumbo, at time of recording, where he was asked to do some consulting, and I won't spoil the video, but there were some things that he had planned for them that got left on the cutting room floor, that they didn't use or were too big to include in the movie. But I'm glad he got one thing, and if you haven't seen the movie, this show, the Does It Adapt show, we give out spoilers. So we're assuming you've seen the movie. but the whole trap thing with the cactuses as they're going through the mines, as they're shooting out, that was a mumbo jumbo creation, I guess. He had talked to Jared about. So I thought that was cool that they included Minecrafters like Mumbo Jumbo, and and then there were the other cameos, which the only one I really knew was Dan TDM, other than Mumbo Jumbo.
I missed all those cameos in that scene. At
Mhm.
the time didn't even pick it up, but I did pick up Jeb.
Oh yeah, Jeb, of course, Jeb.
Yeah. It was only later when I saw pictures on the internet, and I was like, oh yeah, there's Mumbo. Oh yeah. Oh, there's Dan TTM. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, when was this?
At the auction. At the auction.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention.
And and the auctioneer, well, I was pointing them out, and the auctioneer at first, neither of you guys probably listened to this group. At first, I thought it was Wes Borland from a group called Limp Bizkit. He's the guitarist for Limp Bizkit. I thought because he does a character like that, but it wasn't. It was who did I say it was? What we do in the what we do in the shadows. Jermaine Clement.
Yeah.
Which the nitwit voice at the credit scene was another guy from What We Do in the Shadows as well, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Matt Berry, but he's from the TV show.
Right.
Jermaine Clement plays one of the main ones in the original movie of What We Do in the Shadows with Taika Waititi.
Yeah, Troj probably doesn't know what we're talking about, do you?
Not at all. That's okay. You guys carry on. That's fine.
Anyway, yeah, overall, I thought it was good. There was an issue both Josh and I had. Okay, so we first noticed something weird, and we need you people that are listening to confirm this, because we think it was just our theater. I think the first instance was the lava chicken song. We're like, I'm listening to it, and I'm like, okay, is this a different version than the version I've seen on YouTube? Because this doesn't sound right. So we're like, okay. And then there were maybe some other things missing, but the very end where they're all singing, you cannot hear Jack Black at all singing in that final song. And I'm not talking about the Dennis song. I'm talking about, where he's playing guitar, and we did not hear Jack Black singing, and we're at all. So you people that are listening to this, confirm. And Troj, was Jack Black singing in that end scene?
I look, it didn't jump out to me that there was no Jack Black in that end scene.
No, he was he had a microphone, and
yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but it didn't jump out. Like, put it this way, you guys both said, "Oh, he's obviously not singing." That I didn't feel that. I didn't see that. I didn't pick up on that.
That's the thing. It wasn't a case that he wasn't singing. It was a case I think we talked about it. We think it was a blown speaker because he was singing. You could see his mouth moving. You could see everyone getting into it, and there were little parts where if other actors or other people in the crowd were joining in, you would hear them at that moment. But anytime it was just Jack Black, you wouldn't hear a thing. You would just hear the backing music the entire time.
Yeah. We had noticed something was wrong when we heard the lava chicken song. I was like, oh, something that sounds different.
Yeah, it was
sounded
just
off.
It was just like a rhythm guitar just playing under him singing. And when we listened to it afterwards, it had like a bunch of clanking. It had the bell ringing noise, which we didn't hear at all. It had a bunch of stuff. And then I also was like, people unfortunately on Twitter have been putting around this like pre-viz CGI version of Minecraft, and I saw at one point the opening scene, and I heard the music playing from that. Our version, our like movie, there was no music to that scene other than like maybe I think a little bit of guitar, and I'm pretty sure there should have been more. So we didn't really get to, like, at least with the music, other than I think Lava Chicken and uh the Dennis song, we really didn't get to hear everything apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a some sort of broken system there or something, because
Oh, yeah.
I none of that sort of picked up. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you did. Maybe you have to go back and watch it a second time.
Yeah, maybe at a different theater.
I mean, but do we?
But yeah,
not?
but do we?
But
Do we?
do we?
Because I was like, am I going to buy this one on Blu-ray? Probably not. Am I going to get it digitally? Probably not. Am I going to see Minecraft 2? Because they've made enough money that they're going to make a Minecraft 2. Because let's face it, there were things missing that I think we'd all still like to see. But do we? Do we want to see the end? Do we want to see a wither fight? Yeah.
Like blazes and whatnot, because I don't think we got any of those either.
Yeah.
Look, I think they've left enough in the can for content-wise to make another movie. Will I watch this movie again? Yes. Will I buy it? I don't buy physical media anymore. I don't have the room for it. Will I watch it on streaming services? Yes, I will. I had enough fun to watch it again. Not one that I would go back to and watch multiple times in a year. But, I can foresee, once it hits Netflix or something like that, I can foresee my kids are going to have that on a pretty regular basis. So whether I want to or not, I'll be watching it again. I think we will get a sequel, and they've openly said it's already in development.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no movie that's made for 150 million and makes over 600 million at the box office, plus the amount of insane money they're going to be making in merchandise sales, which is probably astronomical by far. There's no way they're not going to make a sequel. This is one of those times that I feel they shouldn't. I think this Minecraft movie has been such a out of the blue pop culture phenomena that they cannot repeat that. And I think no matter what they do with a sequel, it will never live up to what has happened with this one. And I don't think it'll make the same amount of money. I could be very pleasantly surprised and be wrong. But I don't think it'll make the same money. I think this was just we're getting a Minecraft movie. It got the whole Minecraft community excited. It got kids excited. It's just taken on this whole life of its own that I don't think even a sequel could repeat. Like, who knew that we were going to get so many memes that are going to live on probably forever? And never again will we have a scene where you have Jack Black telling Jason Momoa, "Let my hips guide you." You will never have that repeatable moment ever again.
Yeah.
And I would like them to leave the sequel alone, but there is no chance that they will.
Yeah. See, and there have been all kinds of reviews out there. Some good, some bad. One that I really enjoyed, and I liked his take on it, was Hank Green. And he said that this movie has done something that not a lot of movies have done, is get people excited and interactive in cinemas. Yeah, crowds had gotten out of control, throwing popcorn and being rowdy. But he said maybe that emotion, that interactivity, that, getting excited about what you're watching is missing from movie theaters. And it's getting people, this movie has gotten people, excited about going back to the movie house. And, and he also brought up, if you don't remember, I've never been to a showing of it. I've heard stories. Josh, you probably know nothing about it, but if you think crowds at a Minecraft movie are bad, you obviously haven't been to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That is another one of those cult following type movies that just everybody gets involved. You know, they sing the songs, they say the lines together as they're watching it, and that's what Minecraft movie has done for a lot of people. So maybe it is a good thing.
Yeah.
Definitely had lines, even night one opening, before a lot of stuff had got out into like the public sphere. Well, let me circle back to that comment. But, you know, there were people quoting the lines from the movie like, I am Steve and I have yearned for the mines. Like, that was night one, day one of it being released. You had that interaction. And it's the first time I've been in a movie theater probably since Endgame. Endgame? Was that the last of the decent Avenger movies? Like there was, you could feel the emotion in the cinema actually growing. Totally different vibe, obviously, than an Endgame, but obviously for obvious reasons. But it had a vibe that was growing throughout the whole of that movie, and there was the interaction, not as bad as what you're seeing on TikTok and all that today, with, you know, popcorn and all that getting thrown. But let me circle back to a comment that I made. The one other criticism I have, and it's not a criticism of the movie, it's a criticism of the promotion of it, is they showed way too many of the funniest bits in the trailers.
Yeah.
And that took away some of the impact. I would say probably 90% of the really funny punchline hitting moments was spoiled by the trailers. And that was, I was a little bit disappointed with, because, you know, I was with some people that hadn't seen any of the trailers and they were getting a lot more bigger laughs than I was. Like, yeah, because obviously I know where this is happening. I know what the punchline of this little moment is. So I think the trailers let them down a bit in the final cinema experience.
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of between the studio and Mojang and the Minecraft community. That's the balance they've been trying to have and find is, you know, the first trailer came out and everybody's like, oh no. And then the second trailer come out and they're like, oh, okay. I like that. But yeah, that's a good point. Maybe in the second trailer, because the first trailer wasn't well received, they maybe showed it a bit too much.
I have one important question for you, Miner.
Yeah.
Does the Minecraft movie suck?
No. Okay, so let's give our ratings. We'll do the little more toned down rating system here, since this is a lab does it adapt crossover. I really feel that, you know, it achieved what it set out to achieve. It's a Jared Hess movie. It's a Minecraft movie. It's a Jack Black movie. And you know, I'm probably gonna give it a 7.5. Anyone else? Yeah. Out of 100. Of course, out of a 10.
Dang. Oh, okay. You know, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I think I'll stand with what I said earlier today. If I had to rate it, I would give it like 8 out of 10, because I do think that while not a perfect movie, and nor even after actually like realizing and hearing some of the stuff Trode has said, that I was like, oh man, I actually do agree with that. Like, that one character really didn't need to be in the movie. But I still think that for what it is and what it's meant to be and what it's meant to inspire, it completes that goal. Does it completely like blow me away? No. But it reaches where it needs to reach in order to invoke, I think, what a video game movie should do. Because we've had video game movies not reach that level before, unfortunately. And I will say that this one at least reaches it, even if character-wise, dialogue-wise, and even story-wise, there's definitely some issues there.
Troj?
Yeah, I pretty much agree. You have to. When like the first person that asked me what I would rate it was my son, and I was trying, and this was as we were walking to the car, and I was trying to wrap my head around, how do you rate this as a movie? Like, how do you give it a singular rating? because as a movie, forgetting that it's Minecraft and not taking into the context of what it's aimed at, it's not good. It's from a movie making perspective, a writing perspective, it's on the lower end. But again, what Josh just said, what it's aimed at, what it's designed to do, it hits that note. And I think it's the first time that I can remember having to look at a movie and go, okay, but you've got to have the context of it. So for me, it's a solid 7, maybe 7.5, but for me, it's a solid 7 as an overall experience. And we're looking at it with Minecraft eyes and a child eyes, it's probably an 8. If I'm looking at it purely from a writer's perspective and a cinema making perspective, it's probably a 5. So for me, if I have to boil it down to 1, it's a solid 7.
Yeah.
Was not disappointed. I didn't walk out disappointed. I walked out with a smile on my face, having fun.
Yeah. I think that's important. It did have its feel good moments. So at the end of the day, maybe that's what they're going for. Just hitting those feel good moments.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they really did mine the craft.
First we mine and then we craft.
Let's Minecraft.
That was the one line where I was like, all right. You guys didn't need to do that. It's fine.
No, I think they did. The one line that I did is, I yearn for the mines.
This is the thing. This is going to live on in memes forever.
Yes. Yep.
Like I did at time of recording this week, at the start of the week, I did an Australian collab with some much bigger Australian streamers. And the 4.5 hours that we were streaming for, it was just basically a constant stream of Minecraft movie references.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go down the mines. Oh, are you yearning again? Oh, yeah, you're yearning. Yeah. That was just, yeah. Oh, open the nether portal. Oh, I've got some flint and steel. It was just constant parody. And I think that is its big success, is it's worked its way into pop culture and references so quickly, so fast that it's going to live on for a long, long time.
Well, we would like to know what you think. If you're watching this or listening to this on YouTube, let us know what your experience was in the theater. Did you have sound missing? Because we did. And let us know your overall thoughts, ratings. We'll take ratings. Just let us know in the comments, and then how you felt about anything else in the movie. Don't worry about spoilers, because here it doesn't adapt. We do spoilers, and on the lab, I try not to give spoilers, but I am who I am. I can't help it. If you want to reach us on the lab, you can do it. The best way to reach us either way is on the Interims SMP Discord. You can find us on the Interims SMP website. All the podcasts are there. interimssmp.com/podcast. That'll take you directly there. Over on the socials, you can just find us at Does It Adapt, either there on Blue Sky or Twitter X. And our Gmail is doesitadapt@gmail.com. But for the lab, you have the ones I always forget. It's MC Lab _podcast on Twitter X, and Lab MC Podcast on Blue Sky, the one I always forget. But yeah, this was fun, a fun little crossover. And this is the second time we've had the Troj here on Does It Adapt, and first time we've had the Bearded Bard, Josh, my son, on the lab. So yeah, this is fun.
It was good being able to find a way to have a crossover. I mean, it sort of lent itself to it, didn't it? Like a Minecraft movie and Minecraft. So it worked well.
Well, yeah. And Just so you know, folks, always remember, it worked in creative.
But
Mhm.
did it adapt?
I plead the fifth. Although I am sad though that my prediction on the ending of the movie didn't go the way I thought it would.
I was waiting for it.
Same here.
It was a ripper idea you had for that ending, but it was never going to happen.
Oh, definitely not.
No.
I would never bring Notch in just to have that one moment, or even Bill Gates.
Now I don't know how to end this.
You say bye.
Let's go. We're off for a full man sandwich and cut it off.
Ooh, cringe.
Well, that was a line from the movie.
Yeah, it was a line from the movie. What are you talking about?
Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.
This has been a production of the Interrealms Podcast Network. For more information, go to podcast.interrealmssmp.com. You can see that full link in the description of this episode. Thank you for listening.